Fujoshi Green Tea Gal, and welcome back to Dudes Love Bombing Other Dudes the channel. We are officially choking on all the anime that drop each season, so it's hard to know what to actually put on your Fujo plate. Which means once again it falls to me to give you a quick and dirty rundown of the BL hopefuls airing next in every season. Each handpicked morsel tailored specifically to your refined palate. Let's dig in. That absolute crowd pleaser from summer 2024, the elusive samurai, is finally blessing us with another season. This tale of the last prince of the Kamakura shogunate trying not to die, while wrestling his land, people, and throne from his insane uncle, was a surprisingly lighthearted good time. And the romantic undercurrent of the show wasn't subtle at all. There's MC Tokiyuki and his divinely gifted yet chaotic good protector, who dotes on him daily. The bad guy's right-hand man had his own right-hand man that's always got his back, or anything else for that matter. And not to mention Tokiyuki himself accidentally rizzing up everyone in his orbit at one point or another. Looks like Season 2 will have no shortage of hot but villainous men for the MC to grapple with, and I'm here for it. Wide-eyed shonen destined for greatness are always trending. So hot off Tokiyuki's scampering heels is Oniyasha, in The World is Dancing, a fictionalized account of the real-life prodigy Seami Motokyo, who revolutionized no theater. Now you guys already know I feel some type of way about dudes who dance, and the world of dancing is filling a completely underserved niche of old-school Japanese dance theater. Unfortunately, Oniyasha doesn't really share his family's love of dance, and thinks everything about his lessons are arbitrary and low-key pointless. That is until he stumbles onto a quirky ikemen hiding in the countryside. And wouldn't you know it, he has just the kind of mentoring skills MC needs to draw out his hidden talent and set the 14th century Japan's entertainment scene ablaze. With a student master dynamic, 95% male cast, and zesty theater kid energy, the romantic undertones aren't a matter of if, but when. The insipid prince's furtive grab for the throne is an I'm secretly the strongest but hide it behind a ridiculous secret identity flavor of male power fantasy. Where it sets itself apart is that the MC Arnold is kind of the black sheep of the family, but he's oddly happy to live in the shadow of his universally beloved brother Leo. Despite the bad press, Arnold is of course OP, and one of the only double S-ranked adventurers around. He could easily show off his strength, get some respect put on his name, and take the throne for himself, but he uses his skills to support his cinnamon roll of a brother's rise from behind the scenes instead. It's definitely got a whiff of Brocon on it that I can appreciate. So much so that the first trailer completely leaves out the big-titted waifu that's supposed to help at some point. And even by the second trailer, they're introduced after the sweet baby brother. Waifus are treated as secondary in the second trailer and straight up an afterthought in the first trailer, and I couldn't help but notice that. Well, the Brocon crowd is going to be eating good this season. Sparks of Tomorrow is the latest boon from KyoAni Studios and Netflix that aims to scratch that particular itch. In the summer of 1907, the free spirit Kihachi and Inako, the quirky second daughter of a sake brewer, decide to change their lives forever and search for a mysterious book Kihachi wrote when he was a child, the Electric Catalog. Inako is here specifically to dodge an unwanted arranged marriage. This setup sounds like it has all the ingredients to make a cute whirlwind romance as these two chase adventure across Kyoto and Shiga's prefectures. But you never get the impression there's anything other than friendship and good vibes between her and the male MC. Where I expected to find a budding hetero romance, I found an unmistakable brother complex in its place. Instead of nursing some crush on Inako, Kihachi's desperately trying to reconnect with his hot older brother, who took the book and vanished without a trace. And just in case the female gaze and zesty undertones were still too subtle, this saucy minx is rounding out the cast as a potential gay-coded villain. I swear war anime is the gift that keeps on giving. As a military show, Iwamoto Senpai no Suisen takes place in one of the 5 settings BL is most likely to occur. Yet despite being about the rage of war, the cast is 99% pretty boys with glossy, perfectly coiffed hair. The number of reverse harem, Fujo bait shows, and actual yaoi that look exactly like this cannot easily be counted. Plot-wise, it's about 1910, and despite his youth, Iwamoto Kodo is enjoying a very successful military career investigating supernatural cases for national security. I'm actually giving this my Fujo must-watch stamp, because on top of the gay-coded villain, TLDR it's about a gifted war detective collecting superpowered twinks in the Japanese countryside, and you'd be a fool not to at least give it a gander. Soju Hyun is the latest in dark-haired aura farmers, looking for revenge in the highly anticipated Tomb Raider King. An over-the-top power fantasy about an anti-hero who travels back in time to hoard powerful relics. Of course it would be silly to even pretend Tomb Raider King is a BL anime, as it leans heavily into the harem subplot where the MC ends up with 2 wives, depending on which version you read. But fans of the series have created an avalanche of yaoi and art fanfiction of the MC and his blonde gold-loving teammate for a reason. The poster doesn't do the Bessie comes first thing like other more obviously homoerotic shows. Bessie and Irene are of equal size and billing, and the mostly male cast makes it clear despite how the story may end, the few waifus will be fighting the best boys for screen time way more than any monsters. The Bungo Stray Dogs franchise is out here playing in our faces by giving Juan a new season instead of the main series. As a Fujo, I will still happily subsist on my BL chromes. More Bungo Stray is always a good thing. This particular joke has lived rent-free in my head for the past 4 years, and because of his comical non-plot and chibi art style, the likelihood of colorful joke BL shenanigans couldn't be higher. New crazy cooking papa just dropped! Tetsunabe no Jan is a bonkers foodie battle anime from Studio Troika, makers of Idolish 7, I'll Know a Zero, and Overtake, just to name a few. Summer 2025's Vermont's Kitchen made my best of BL ships last year, so one glance at the bromance already brewing between John and Tako has me wanting seconds. If you can't tell by his everything, thanks to a harsh upbringing, MC Akiyama John is a highly skilled lunatic being used as a tool of culinary revenge by his equally nuts grandpa. While John grapples with his rival Mutsuju on whether cooking is about competition or self-expression, he'll have the support of the softest of soft boys, Tako, the cinnamon roll yang to Jan's prickly shouting yin. So nice of the trailer to ship them for me before the show's even aired. July is blessing us with one true yaoi anime, Perfect Addiction. MC Akihiko is your typical college boy, only concerned with looks maxing or getting his wet and not much else. But something about his hot but introverted classmate Sai keeps triggering him. Things take a turn one night when a girl passes on Akihiko for Sai at a singles mixer. Livid, he goes to confront Sai only to learn his zesty secret. He's gay and having a hard time in the bedroom. Not so straight Akihiko just sees this as a sexy challenge at first, but a genuine romance slowly blossoms between them. I already know you're going to be watching this on Cool Mike or wherever when it drops in a few weeks, but if you can't wait, the 4.5 out of 5 rated manga is already available in English on Amazon in both paperback and Kindle. Links in the doobly-doo. Levites, that strange but memorable dark fantasy anime I reacted to last year, is back for more this July. It's a violent and intense supernatural yarn I quite enjoyed from summer 2025 that's somehow dipping his toes into a magic school subplot while chaos is happening. It's not exactly BL, but the show is introducing an avalanche of new male characters. And twins! And lest we forget, it stars an overpowered demon who took the form of a saucy twink and decided to not just be the youngest stepdad in existence, but be the dad that stepped up. On paper, Villager of level 999 looks like your standard RPG fantasy, with usual collection of player classes, stats, and monsters, etc. But 999 keeps it interesting by having its underpowered NPC-ass protagonist that's got no business fighting monsters will indeed find a way to fight monsters. For profit. I'm putting this on here for the inevitable joke BL that we'll be getting thanks to this cross-dressing slab of beef and the priest in the MC's adventuring party. The fact that the anime didn't just make these characters waifus like male power fantasy cliche dictates it would, is enough to get his BL-ish foot in the door. I see a budding reverse horror on my click. The oblivious saint can't contain her power is the wholesome flip side of the vengeful villainess coin. Same level of danger, but instead of calling upon her most toxic traits to humiliate or murder her enemies in cold blood, Carolina will end up fixing the world around her and discovering the side of herself she never knew in the process. The collection of key royals in her orbit are just the right amount of icing on this feminine power fantasy cake. BL with extra steps Hanazakuri no Kimitachie is back with its second season, and last but never least, we're getting zesty-ass Grand Blue Season 3, and his femboy with a crush subplot is back with it. And that's my list. Which of these are you most looking forward to? Are there any BL-friendly anime I missed? Tell me and others about it in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and as always feel free to browse my BL Clips channel and the Facebook page for even more content and every single video YouTube wouldn't let me post. Bye for now!